This bonus episode of the Dexter Knows podcast brought to you by Patron. Whoop. Sorry for the first 35 seconds of us going, move your mic, can't see you fucking...
Well, there is a fantastic thing called edited. We could cut that out.
Yeah, we'll just cut that out then, fair enough.
Or we just start again.
We're in it now, like, what I mean?
Too deep.
Yeah, exactly. We're already up to the second knuckle here. Fingering.
Thank you to all our patrons, as always, for your questions and for taking part and for being sound.
I laughed so hard at the end of that first one. My nose was running.
It's fucking, yeah, obviously you might be just shouting us straight after that one, so we are sorry for that. Right, straight up, first one. Hello again. As your patrons, could we be described as influencers? You fellas and other comedians are always on about. At least it'll give us 10 minutes on stage. So have you any suggestions for interesting things us Patreons could do so we can provide you with interesting topics or content to talk about? I'll shit on a bus if you want. An upper decker on a double decker. Ha ha. Or shit in my neighbour's pool. Or just shit on my neighbour's Tesla. You just name the place.
Well, just go for shit. Just shit in the toilet.
Yeah,
just go to the toilet.
Is it IBS?
But just have a poop. Just go into the bathroom, lift the seat. There's
our patrons, could they be described as
no,
influencers?
see, there's always a situation, right, where people often... That's essentially a long-winded... And thank you very much for the suggestion, but it's a long-winded way of going, here's one, you can use this. Which... never works out. Apart from I heard a story the other day and I was like, that's maybe one of the funniest things I've ever heard, right?
Right.
So I have an aunt who works in a school, right? And I'll change the first name here just because to protect, but once you hear the story, you're going to, if anybody's heard the story, they'll be like, oh, I know who that is. Right,
okay.
And I was talking with this woman and we'll say the woman was called, her nickname is Stacey Squirrel, right?
Right.
So my auntie went into the school and was like, why do they call her Stacey Squirrel, right?
Right.
The story goes, this woman was walking her kids back from school one day, from primary school, right? And she's walking along these wee footpaths, and they call them the Black Paths from Craigavon, right? I've not given you her first name on where she lives. And there was a wee dead squirrel lying on the path, and she didn't want her kids to see it, because her kids were only wee. So she thought, right, I'll like run ahead of the kids, pick the squirrel up, throw it in the bush or whatever, so the kids don't see the wee dead squirrel. So she picked the squirrel up and it wasn't dead. And it bit her in the hand, right?
Right.
So she was like trying to get the squirrel off, but the more she shook her hand, the more the squirrel like wrapped itself around her, right? So she's like fucking trying to wave a squirrel off her hand. And then she ended up, to get it off her hand, she had to stand on its neck and get it.
She had to
kill it in front of her kids, like fucking snap its neck. She had the American History X of squirrel.
So the fear of seeing a squirrel dead says to mummy just murdered a squirrel.
Ma's a serial killer. Do you know what I mean? They probably thought, oh my god, we're getting a pet squirrel. Lesson 1, don't get attached to anything. Stop crying, Ma.
Oh my god.
That's same thing happened to my mate Davey Dog. He just loved killing dogs. No, that's not what it was. But that's one of those situations where I heard that story and I was like, wonder could you tell that in stand up? But you can't. Do you know, anytime somebody goes, here, this'll work, you go, it won't.
No.
I fell victim to it one time about maybe 9 years ago. So I've been doing stand up maybe say 3 or 4 years. Should have known better. Someone told me a story, I think I've maybe mentioned this before, and it's about, there's a story about a woman who was dog sitting for a couple in London. Have I told you this before?
No.
And they'd left loads of money, and the dog was really old or whatever, but the dog died.
Right. And
so she phoned the couple, and they were like, listen, fucking really sorry to tell the dog's died, and the guy was like, look, don't worry about it, kind of expect it, you know, he's an old dog, tell you what to do, there's money in a jar in the kitchen, take that, like, you know, take the dog over to the vet.
Right, okay.
Or it was either take the dog to the vet or the vet will come out, but you'll have to pay them X amount to come out and take the dog away. And she'd spent the money on pizzas and beers when she was dog sitting, so she was like, fuck it, I'll put the dog in a suitcase and just take it across London on the tube. Right? So then she gets through a couple of tube stations. She gets to one where there's quite a lot of steps. Some guy's like, do you want me to help you with your bag? She's like, that'll be really great, thank you. The guy takes the bag to the top of the stairs. She looks at her phone to see where she's going next, and the guy stole the bag.
Oh, fuck.
Right? So I heard the story. I had all these bits written about. Imagine what happened. He opens the bag and there's a fucking dead dog in it. What happens there? How did she get it? Did she put an air freshener in it to stop it smelling? Like, did the guy open the bag and you can hear like psst, psst, and he's like, oh, what the fuck's in here? Oh my god, dead dog. And then I'd seen like fucking 4 other comedians tell the same story. It's an urban myth that a girl was told in confidence, believing it to be a true story.
That this was
then carried it to me and I went, this is gold. So that's the last time I've ever taken any advice from anybody.
Yeah,
and
especially stories of it. Oh fuck yeah, with 4 other comedians doing the same thing.
Yeah, and like I remember one that had happened and I was going to do the bit and then the MC did it and I was like, I didn't even go, he's stealing my material. I went, oh, this is clearly not a true story.
Yeah.
But nobody in essence what I'm saying is we don't trust muggles. Sorry.
Nobody would steal your material.
Nobody's stealing my material. No, it's not good enough.
Who the fuck would want it?
Who'd want it? Like, I'm not stealing new stuff anyway. Gold. Shitting out bricks of pure gold. I'm not.
The arrogance, Bartlett.
It's not arrogance, man. It's just
narcissism.
Facts. No, it's just, you know, I'm just in a really good creative mood at the minute. So I'm kind of like, oh, I feel good at this.
Sunglasses off.
It's kind of, I think there's something with when the summer comes in, I get really a lot of positive beams off the sun. I'm kind of like Superman that way. And I get more giddy with my stand-up.
Mighty.
So I'm having a lot more fun on stage. Doesn't necessarily mean anything's any good, but I'm laughing, which is the most important thing when you think about it. You have to enjoy your work.
You're a hard person to get a laugh, so if you can make yourself laugh, it must be good.
I'm really easy laugh though.
I know.
I'm a really easy laugh. Like,
I was joking.
Yeah, I love laughing. It's the best medicine.
You're a good laugher.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's not. I was going to say it's the best. It's not the best medicine because I laugh all the time. I've still got psoriasis. Can't be all knock knock.
Why did that person enter without fucking answering?
I'm so sorry about my hand.
That door,
Stop that.
The creak of that door after he knock is fucking genius.
It's a haunted house. You know I should be looking after my guts better. I'm sorry, everybody. Next question. Next, having a shit in a Tesla, I had a shit in a podcast studio. So.
Next up, I see William Thompson is getting the Channel 4 pilot. Can we expect a deck chair and Yum's cameo?
No. Wasn't even fucking asked about it.
No.
Fuck's sake.
I think it's him and Dave, isn't it?
I think Dave wrote it. Dave read it and William's in it, or is Dave in it as well?
Think maybe both of them wrote it.
It sounds great, to be honest with you. Yeah. I haven't seen any clips or anything, but it sounds fucking class. It's one of those ones where you go, "I'm on the lads."
Aye, absolutely.
Like that's the first of it. Well, did Kieran have a blaps thing for Channel 4 at one point?
He did have something written, didn't he? He recorded something that time. Remember the sketch with Shane was in it with the was it like the gangsters, like the paramilitaries calling around or something?
There was something like that.
Shane was making tea.
Yeah. It's good to see like people from here getting stuff made on the big island.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's
across the water.
Now, I was doing a gig last week there, Connor, and I listened to a thing on BBC Radio 4.
Right.
From here.
Right.
And not to trivialize things, but I sincerely thought about taking my seatbelt off and just driving into the flattest, hardest object.
Why?
I could say, because it was dog shit. It was absolute shite. And I only listened to now, I managed to turn the radio on literally as it started, right? So I was like, right, it's a comedy show from here for BBC Radio 4. I was like, I'll give it a quick listen. First 3 seconds in, I went, I know who produced that, and I had to listen to the whole fucking thing to hear the producer name called out at the end.
Right.
And I was like, fucking bang on right.
Right, okay.
What I'm saying is BBC Northern Ireland really need to buck their ideas up.
Is this...
and I have no danger of losing work when I say that, so you just need to step it up again. Like.
Might just lose a few friends.
The lads, was there somebody doing BBC Northern Ireland stuff?
Who
Oh, the radio show?
Who did the show?
Oh, nobody I knew. Like, there wasn't, I didn't know, I just knew the producer.
Oh.
I didn't know any of the actors, didn't know any of the comedians involved in it, didn't know the writers, but I knew the producer, and I was like, fuck.
What was it called?
Can't remember. But it was pants.
Right.
Why, were you in something?
No.
Did you write something?
No. Well, I know somebody who did.
Who? Do out there?
You wouldn't know, that's what I'm saying, but I know them. But I'm wondering now, have you just completely destroyed their fucking whole output?
Well, it depends. Type the name out on your phone and then I'll tell you, because I did listen to the writers as well. So no. I was trying to cover that bit up, and then you snitch.
Well, I can't sit here. I mean, it'll be quite a coincidence because they were doing a BBC Radio 4.
Who was that?
show? Phil Taggart and Mike McCullough.
What was that? Yeah.
Sorry, lads. I know he's listening.
But I also
know he's aren't listening anymore now after that.
Are they on the Patreon?
Yeah. So, see you later. All right. Best of luck. Thanks very much. So,
are they comedians? Exactly.
One is, you know, Phil Taggart.
When did I start talking about that?
They're not patrons, by the way.
That's not funny.
But I do know them. They're both from MoMA.
I know them too. But
yeah, Phil was a Radio 1 DJ. Radio 1 DJ, yeah.
Yeah, great DJ. Yeah. Great DJ.
No, I have not listened to any of this or seen any of this. I just knew that it was the guy. Is it Blood of the Hound? He calls himself online. Mick McCullough or Mickey McCullough.
I don't know.
But it's out there, surreal apparently. Sort
it's
of
surreal.
Stuff.
It's to be honest,
I have no idea what it is, but I just knew.
Yeah,
that
it was
it's
the kind of thing where you go, this would be a fucking class animated comedy, but for a radio it doesn't work, and it's not genuinely right. I would never sincerely slag off the people who. No, listen to me. I wouldn't. I honestly know how hard it is to get things made, right? And I honestly know that you can be in a bubble of things where you're going, oh, we all find this funny. What I'm saying to you is, I know the producer, and I know that producer was going, this is the best thing that's ever been made, and there's people convinced it is.
Well, I do have to say one thing before we'll just move on swiftly because it's been destroyed. I got the vibe from them that this was the greatest thing ever made.
Oh, it really wasn't.
And I didn't listen to it or didn't see it, but
it's terrible.
Brilliant. So, let's be honest. If I didn't say I knew the guys, you would have went on a bigger round of how bad it was. Let's be honest.
It was on at 12 o'clock at night in Radio 4.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
Right. But again, fair play for the effort.
Fair play is for, but should we not be a wee bit protective of our art? Why are the BBC giving radio DJs a chance to make a comedy show and they're not giving comedians a chance? Answer with that one. I mean, is it because she and Tom and Dave did a rave lockdown and they're like, let's play with the form, guys?
The guy, McCullough, the guy that the Blood of the Hound, is a prolific writer on Twitter doing.
Good.
I know, but no, there's a follow.
That explains why a shit radio show had 140 characters.
It came from some series of writing he did. So there was a background to it. It wasn't like the BBC came to them and go and do something. They came to them with this thing of, can we put all what we've done together into one thing? Right. I don't know. I didn't listen to it. So
I really wish you'd have just let me deal with that on my own. Instead of now naming everybody who's involved.
I let you know.
Out to me that I'm actually quite friendly with some of them.
I let you go on as long as I thought it has to be the same one. But I'll just let you keep going. Like, I want you to get to the point till you got to its absolute dog shit part, and then.
Do you know what the worst part is? Whenever you said you knew somebody who wrote it, it wasn't even one of them two. There's another person we know who wrote it too. There's a third person with pissed off.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't piss him off. I haven't watched it.
Did I?
Well, what the fuck did I do?
It's deck chair and yums. You're coming down with me, right? Fucking, we're going full Thelma and Louise, or Thelma and Louise, what the fuck that movie's called? Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. This is fucking
hell.
We've made it to fucking.
We survived the Giants because I survived these two cons.
We've made it to Olivia, or wherever they were going. Olimia. Next question, quick.
Okay, hi boys. The other night in a dream, I was working in a bar. While I was replacing a keg, I dropped it on my leg. As I did, I jerked my leg and woke up, actually hurting my leg in reality. Just wondering if either of you have sustained a real world injury from an accident in a dream. Do you believe today, this very morning, I was sleeping, and in my dream I was being chased by somebody, and when I woke up, I genuinely felt like I had ran. My heart was going flat like fuck, and I was out of breath. And I was like, is that because I just read that question? Like, I never had an experience in my life before, and I read that question last night, and then that happened. But that couldn't be real.
I told you, remember Chocolate Block with Zombies?
Yes.
The bad dream I had?
Yeah.
I remember the feeling of being bit in the legs.
Fuck.
And waking up and being like, my legs feel like there's been bites stuck out of them.
Like, I genuinely woke up, and then a part of me was like, maybe it's not a dream, maybe it's just I'm having a heart attack, and
your brain's being like, come on, let's give you some nice memories.
Let's make a movie out of it.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you smell toast?
I never thought about the zombie one about the pain actually. So feeling pain
really
too, right? Okay.
I've also obviously always pissed themselves in their dream. Like,
but no, that was my first, and then I thought that had to be like I'm fucking 40 and I've never had that before. And then the day after, I'd read a message asking me about that. I then dream and do that.
I have
that has to be something that.
Yeah, there's definitely something like all about it. Like
it's amazing how it sits in there.
It's amazing. It's just wild what the human mind can conceive. You know,
the brain's an awful machine. Hey?
Oh, it does. It's like a supercomputer, Connor. It's like a MacBook.
Right, lads, breaking my deck chair and Yum's question virginity. Well, you're very welcome. First question.
Snap your wee hymen. I mean, hi man.
One in here will snap you.
One in here and we'll fucking bust your wee blurt in.
Oh, fucking
I don't talk like it, really.
I know, not even
I'm
a
a
kiss
really
or
nice
nothing.
person.
Normally, like 3 dates. There's 3 dates, Mickey.
3 date Mick.
Wants to burst your blood for you, Mickey.
Snap your wee dude. Come on.
Do you ever just fall for that's the type of cunt he is. That's the narcissistic cunt he is. You like playing out. Don't know. 3 dates. The reality comes out there.
I genuinely can't get it up.
I will smash
I didn't want to go into full detail, but I cannot get a hard on if it's this first or second date.
What?
I can't. It doesn't work. My dick literally is like, I'm not fucking doing that.
Mickey, you've had one night stands.
I haven't. There's been a lot of prep involved in that.
Prep involved?
Not a chat and all. Do you know what I mean? My brain goes, that's one tit pick, that's the second date. I've met girls in bars. Well, you need to tell me everything about you. Send me 2 titty pics so my willy can be all we can go home now.
You should be on a register after you die so we can take that brain out and study it to figure.
The reason I've been very good at oral sex is because there's been so many times I've had to be all, listen.
Please don't.
I can't help it.
Please
There's nothing happened with the willy here, so we're going to have to do something else. Do you know what? You shouldn't talk about that wild fart, and that makes me sound like an absolute lad. And I'm trying to be an artist. Anyway,
there is a postmodern feel of those farts right enough. Yeah.
So sorry, I shouldn't have said it'll snap your wee hymen for that, but let's take it slow.
So thank you very much for sending the questions.
That's
what we were supposed to say.
Yeah, let's fail your first question, wee diddy.
And if you haven't sent us a question before, send it in. Let us know. Let us know you're a virgin. Make it snap your hymen.
Snap your hymen.
Yeah, let's go. Right, lying here in hospital after breaking my leg in my first ever MMA event. Nope, not the one in the Crime Plaza where people went mental. My question is, have you ever broken a bone or seriously injured yourself? And if so, what did you do to keep yourself occupied and mentally positive?
Snap the hymen one. No, I've never broken a bone. I've had many debilitating surgeries.
Here we go.
My ass, my armpits, my balls.
I have had so many injuries, but I think the only thing that broke was my jaw.
You broke your jaw?
I fractured my jaw when I was in primary school, P1 or P2. Tripped and fell into a fucking metal railing. But I've got scars all over my head from like being busted, like falling again or being hit or whatever. But I did tear my cruciate ligament on a night out in Carrick-on-Shannon.
Thought it was going to be a football match.
Listen, on a party bus, right?
Oh fuck, the rhythm takes you.
On a party bus for my youngest brother's 21st birthday. So surrounded by his peers, all 21, and I'm 10 years older, so I'm 31.
So you're 31.
Now,
31.
Unfortunately, they're so young. You see, Mick. Here's the thing,
here we go now. Uncle Connor's telling some stories here.
So
these critters are drinking their MDs and their.
And what I says to them, I says, "Here, would anybody mind if I let a joint?" And they says, "No, go on ahead." It's a 2.5 hour drive to Carrick-on-Shannon. There was a lot of white faces coming off that bus.
It said you hotboxed the whole bus?
The whole bus.
And the driver didn't mind?
Driver was he was loving it. He had brought his lunch with him, you see.
Nothing like a jam sandwich after an hour of smoke.
Jesus. So anyway, we were drinking and having fun, and I got down to Carrick-on-Shannon, and you know when you're just having you're having a good time.
I mind it well.
You know, you get especially for me, get away from the house and it's fucking deadly. Bunch of young ones. There was a girl who's a friend of my brother, and my God, she was the best looking girl I had seen in years, and she was wild crack.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Very rare to get the two things together.
Oh, very rare, very rare indeed,
I
very
mean,
rare.
wild crack. Wild crack. And everything's going good. And we're down. Do you know that crack where I've seen you do it? You know, you're giving the chest bump, the dancing. No, I was in full swing, Mike.
Oh,
full swing.
fucking
I had about 6 magners in me.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Along with the 2 bottles of rosé I had in the party bus.
Boy.
So everything's going good. I decide to walk. But I did that sort of dancing, you know, the Peter Kay thing. I'm shuffling off to go to the toilets, but I'm still,
back 2 seconds, no, right?
And there's 2 steps. Just 2 steps. Not like falling down a set of flight of stairs. 2 fucking steps. I walked down the first one, and whatever way I went down the second one, my knee twisted and I fell. Right? And I landed on my knees in front of a fella sitting on a honestly, I'll never forget this look, right? It looked like I was about to go down and give him a fucking blowjob. Like I landed right, literally nearly between his thighs. And in my head I thought, fucking hell. I've never in my life instantly sobered. Like instantly I was like, what the fuck has just happened? And I'm looking at this boy, right? And this is Carrigan Shannon, right? It's full of fucking stag parties and hen parties.
Right.
And this boy's, what the fuck is wrong with this boy? And he says, can I have your seat? And he went, what? And I went, I've done something here. I can't get up. Can I have your seat? And he's like, and you could see him going, fuck, I don't want to give you my seat. I was like, please. And I got up on the seat, sat down. I was like, oh fuck, something's not right here. Got outside, stood out with the bouncers, was chatting to them and everything okay. I was sitting on the window ledge of the pub and I got up and I completely cowped.
Fucking hell.
On the ground. And about 4 bouncers standing over me. And I'm sitting chatting to them going, I know what this looks like. I know I'm a big unit. And I know what it looks like, but I'm not. I just went to get off the thing there. I've done something to my knee and it's collapsed. And they heaved me up. And I suffered to go through. I eventually got back to Oma, and it wasn't until 3 days later that it turned out that, because I could get in, like, it's a weird feeling, you can't see it and you think, but see, to do that, I couldn't do that. I didn't have the muscle.
Just couldn't lift your knee?
I just couldn't lift it, so even though my brain was going, right, lift the knee, it wasn't there, the muscle was gone. So I went and had surgery. So, back to the point.
Backs of my knees are fucking...
4 months in a...
No training?
A long leg splint. No driving. Very difficult shitting. Very difficult doing anything.
Shitting. How do you ship straight-legged? Right enough.
It is... imagine being the size. It's a scene, boys. It's a scene.
It's a mess.
And so, positive, back to the original point, the positivity and the mental thing, it was fucking tough because this was pre anybody being prepared lockdown-wise. Yeah. So this was about, 10 years ago. You're going to have to need an awful lot of medication.
Yeah.
Smoke weed every day.
You're going to need to have releases. And you're definitely going to need to have like a lightsaber. Oh, I didn't know if he was going to hit the right
2 years. I've learned 3 buttons.
It was so funny to get the right one there.
Fucking up a hoods.
But that was a long song. When you can't drive, and it's taken away, it's fucking.
I was telling Colin Geddes for the night about how whenever I first got this psoriasis shit that I will eventually stop talking about, I had essentially 6 weeks in the house. Like,
it's a fucking
couldn't do anything.
You don't realise until your independence is taken away. You don't realise that you have independence.
And I was weirdly like, I didn't realise how sad it sounded until I told Geddes. I was like, I had to go to my get my shopping and stuff, and he was like, you should have fucking rung me, I got you. And I was like, mate, thank you, but it wasn't that bad. I just didn't want people looking at me. Yeah, I think there's many ways to combat boredom. It's part of me is kind of like become the boredom.
Yeah,
just goes. This isn't, because I think you always get antsy if like the mental toll comes from I should be doing something.
Yeah,
if you just get to your stage where you go, I can't do anything for now. Yeah, you can deal with boredom.
Absolutely, yeah. And you'll find something around, like my fucking beloved wife had to go through a fucking hell to get just even to get the house sorted, because I still needed help to get down the stairs. And then once I was in the kitchen, that was me from whatever time I got down there till the night time. It was a scene. But again, I think 20 years ago, the distraction, and you wouldn't have the distractions we have now.
Yeah.
and there would have been actual boredom.
Yeah.
I think you can really fill your time up
Oh,
between
100%, like.
internet, Netflix, and PlayStations and all that sort of stuff. There's enough time to fill in. But back to your mental health thing, it's about don't work toward dates.
Yeah,
Don't say,
just
this is going to be 8 weeks, or this is going to be because they've told you 8 weeks. Don't think about the date. Just think about this will be over when it's over.
And I think there's definitely a thing of like if say for example you go right, it'll be 8 weeks. By the 6th week, you'll start trying to fast forward it, and then you could potentially hurt yourself.
You could hurt yourself, yeah, and don't try and it's going to come naturally. And the other thing is the Deck Chair and Young's podcast.
Yeah,
Great for mental health.
Yeah, fucking go back to start Just Rabbit and all if you want to fucking.
If you want to find out today's news, go to last year's episodes. Just Rabbit and all.
yeah. And also, if you want to think you've got mental health problems.
Next up, what did you think of Simon giving his golden buzzer to a comedian? Is this fucking Britain's Got Talent? Not a fan of Simon Cowell, but the guy was quite funny. What's your thoughts on comedians doing talent shows? Just watch Michael Yeo's special, and he recently done America's Got Talent.
Can you check and see who the comedian was, in case if maybe one of the guys off the circuit?
Is this from back in? Remember what do you call the guy? Talisa, is it Talisa Chumbanda, the African guy that got through?
Yeah,
is it Talisa?
It's not Talisa.
It's Chumbanda. No, is his surname anyway? Isn't that no?
Do you know what? That's near. Yeah, kinda. But I'm like, the fact that we don't know it makes us look very bad. Chaliso Chapon.
Just that.
Something like that. Yeah, I can't remember his fucking name.
No.
Axel Blake.
Well, I don't know.
Have we? I would never. Now, this is not. I don't. This is not to offend anybody. Mm-hmm. I just didn't think we would have anybody who listened to us that we watching Britain's Got Talent. I just didn't. I don't know.
Maybe we finally broke out through to the other side.
Oh, God help us.
I think comedians going on Britain's Got Talent is an absolutely fucking ridiculous idea.
Terrible.
Because they're not going to win it.
No.
Like Lost Voice guy won it.
Yeah.
But the comedians are there, and I think that it tends to be.
It'll be like your guy that we're talking about there. He'll get a tour out of it.
Yeah, but he'll give Simon Cowell all the money.
Yeah, and that'll be the end of it. It'll fizzle out then.
Yeah, and you end up with some sort of weird. Unless you're very very good, you end up a weird kind of pariah for the rest of the comedy scene.
Yeah, you're in limbo.
A lot of people go like, "Why'd you do that?"
Yeah.
Also, they're so dodgy. Like I've told this story I think before about there's a double act called the Raymond and Mr. Timkins review. Very very funny act, but very English act, but very very funny. And I mean very English in the sense of the act is they play songs and then pull out misheard props.
Right. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So, but it's one of those things where you like initially when I saw it, and again this is a few years ago, I was like, I can't believe this is what fucking people are laughing at here. Like, what the fuck is this? And then one will get you, and then you're in, and you're howling like. But they were asked to go on Britain's Got Talent and said no. So Britain's Got Talent just stole their act and got a producer to do it. So now every series of Britain's Got Talent, you will see an act doing misheard lyrics with props in the highlight reels. Right. Okay. They never really become a major feature.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm always very wary of comedians doing it, and I know a few people who've gone to auditions and have gone and they're just told. I think we talked before, but Ursula Burns was on it one year. She's a musical comedian from Belfast. Got a standing ovation in her audition because she was doing her own stuff. Then when it came to the semi-final, the producer were like, "Do this, do this, do this." None of it worked, and then she got trailed over the coals on social media by people who watch Britain's Got Talent, being like, "Is this supposed to be a talent comedian? That's the biggest joke of them all. Calling yourself a comedian."
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, it's obviously is it that need for fame? With a certain comedian that goes
yeah,
that?
of course it is.
Because it's nothing else. It's not going to help your career.
But it's also the fact that the producers do contact comedians, which is everyone's had an email at some point from Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah. I got asked even for they were coming to do auditions here in Oma.
Yeah, and you weirdly go, "What the fuck did you get my contact details?" Yeah. Like, but
it turns out I found out actually how they do it. It turns out they go to like the local council and ask like for recommendations of anybody's name of anybody involved in the arts or whatever. Because they contacted our organisation I work in, and then wanted to host.
Have the details through supplier forms, you're supposed to?
Yeah, and then it's just like it's a weird fucking. It's almost like, "Oh, we'll come to you and you'll put on a show for us." Do you know that sort of way? It's not like it's like they wanted the open mic to host the auditions.
Yeah,
we'll come, and they came with a fucking camcorder. And they were like, and we'll record it.
Yeah.
But you have to do all the work to set it up. And I was like, fuck off.
They also have weird things now. I don't know if it happens with Britain's Got Talent. I know with X Factor, for example, they would just send people home in the queue.
Just by looking at them?
Like, yeah, we'll just go no.
Oh, I'd
yes,
be
no.
one of them.
Oh, 100%.
I'd be...
No, I meant me as well.
All right, okay.
Sorry. But you more than me. Like, at least I have a wee sad story.
Warrior.
My wee hands. Sometimes, Sam, it's very hard to hold the microphone. Hello, BGT. How's it going? My name's Flaky Mick, and tonight I'll be busting balloons. Gold buzzer. Oh, thank you, Simon. Does that open disabled door?
Disabled trapdoor.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Just lowers them down.
Just waving, and people are like, oh, fucking up. David Williams is like, what the fuck? Was there parts flying off him?
So the first time his face covered in white stuff. Right, was in the...
First time it's been dry, though.
Right, I was in the carry-out at the weekend. Was that what you call an off-license?
Yeah.
The carry-out?
Some people do, yeah.
Do you not get a carry-out from the off-license?
I do, because I know words like you do. Some people just call it the carry-out.
So people get a carry-out from the carry-out?
Sometimes, yeah, you can get carry-out.
You can go and get a carry-out from the off-license?
Yeah.
But you don't get a carry-out from the carry-out?
But you can call it a carry-out if you want.
I know you can do anything you want, but I'm saying, is that what you call them, a carry-out?
Some people must, clearly. I don't. You asked me for it.
Because it's about Lurgan, that's what I'm going to ask you. So anyway, I was in the carry-out at the weekend and stumbled upon a can of long-faced lager from Spadetown Brewing in your hometown, Mickey. Oh no, it wasn't.
So it wasn't looking, yeah.
Have you sampled it yet? Wasn't bad if you're into that kind of thing.
I haven't. I've heard that it's happening. There's a brewery.
Long-faced lager. Would it sponsor the podcast? Yes.
Now there's something I hadn't thought about.
Long-faced lager. Lager.
Yeah, I know. My dad calls it lager because he only ever heard it on Coronation Street. Pints of lager, and then he's went, oh, there must be an R in that. Because the times I pointed the can, it's lager. Try harp as well. Got to the mustard. Acting.
Right, next up. Oh, we have a retraction on a complaint.
Like a foreskin?
On a complaint against you.
All right, okay. Go on ahead.
Fair play, Mickey. The Mexicano was far better than the Volcano. I take back what I said about you not taking food advice from you. Well done.
You're most welcome, my child. Chinese food's officially off the list of things that don't cause psoriasis and IBS.
It's definitely off the list of things the night before a fucking podcast, anyway.
It's your fault. Somebody give me weed.
That fucking friend of yours better stop that shit. Right, next up. Did you get any nice Easter eggs? What will be your ideal go-to Easter egg? Now tell me this before I go. I literally just thought that there now. Did you ever, when you were weighing, have the dream of the cream egg filled one?
I'll be honest with you, Connor. You're not going to like this now.
I just thought it was every child had that.
I don't like cream eggs.
Well, I'm not. I'm on
the middle of them looks awful coleslawy. Look a bit poached.
I didn't like. I meant like I would do without one. You know what I mean? I would take a caramel. Right?
It's the inside of them. It's a weird texture. It makes me feel sick. Is he still looking? I've always wanted, do you know, like a Galaxy caramel egg? One of those is an Easter egg.
Or a full one, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I was getting to. Was would you like an egg of that brand, but a full one? Of,
yeah.
Like filled
like
with
if you could make a fucking like
coleslaw.
If you could make like a Lindt chocolate egg filled with that fucking truffle shit, put that up my bottom. Mm-hmm. That would be the dream. Thing is with Easter eggs, right? I'm not really that big an Easter egg fan. Now, I had a full one Saturday night, as I said in the last podcast, because I happened to walk past somebody who blew weed out of their mouth and I was yawning at the time. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so excellent. Oh, I'm sorry. It's technically not illegal.
No, passive smoking.
Passive weed smoking. And passive smoking to the left-hand side. And I had an entire Easter egg. My go-to Easter anything from the Galaxy Mars brand.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm
my favourite.
I'm a Cadbury's. I'm a purple head.
I'm a foil wrapped man usually.
You see.
I like it smooth, but I like my chocolate like my vagina's smooth and under the age of 8.
Oh, with a bit of caramel.
Exactly. Just 2 weeks before the sell-by date. The new recipe. What?
I don't know. I think Cadbury's has changed.
Yeah,
Kraft,
we've talked about this 3
about.
weeks in a row now.
And I haven't got over it, to be honest with you.
War in
because
Ukraine, fuck that. But
the recipe of the
recipe
dairy
of
milk
Cadbury's
is that's top priority. I don't know. I would go with any big.
yeah, I miss the days.
big
Do you
one.
remember the days you would get like a fruit pastels Easter egg? So it would be like Nestle chocolate and then fruit pastels in the middle.
I
Never worked like.
never worked, but
Yeah.
you always got a mug.
Always got a mug.
I
miss
used to
Easter
have
egg mugs.
loads of
I miss
Easter egg-
Easter egg mugs.
yes.
Because
That would be my ideal Easter egg.
Yeah, with a mug.
With a mug.
And you know who?
And a whisper.
And I hate to fucking. Sorry, I hate to tell you. I hate to tell you any conspiracy theories because I know we get a reputation. But I personally think the reason there's no mugs and Easter eggs is because of IKEA. Wow. Nobody ever blames the Swedish. Dutch? Danish? Swedish. Swedish. Ah, you're right. Speaking of Swedish, what is Sean Connery eating with Easter eggs? Swedish.
Never off, sir. Never off.
Where did they come from? I didn't even know. That fucking something took over me there.
Out of your hole.
Hello
No, we've
there.
seen loads of things.
Hi,
today.
Swedish. Hello there. Yes.
Right. What's your next up? What's your specialist subject on Mastermind?
Oh, fuck. Ah, balls. Fuck off. Billy Connolly stand-up sets, maybe?
Ooh. Would you pick an era or would you all of them? It's a lot, like.
Anything before 2005.
Okay. Okay.
Just the stand-up now, not anything about him. I don't know those kids' names, like, I don't care. No, fuck
But
it,
then
no.
you see, you wouldn't. Oh yeah, if you specifically said Billy Connolly's stand-up sets, so it's not just Billy Connolly. Because
Yeah.
you'd have to go in, like he would go into.
Yeah,
some,
it'd be something like,
so
yeah, you'd have to
detailed
be like,
questions,
okay,
like-
what's the punchline? And I'd be like,
Yeah.
well, the beast.
But no, it'll be more like, oh, on this date in 1972, he
yeah,
played
fuck.
this from who did the warm-up act, and you're like,
Aye. Yeah.
no, it needs to be
Wouldn't be
something you
that.
really, really fucking know.
What I know an awful lot about.
I'd struggled with this one because I don't know. I would say U2 between 1993 and 97.
Aye. I
Which
would
means
say-
the time when I had fuck all to do,
Aye.
and that's all I was listening to.
Now that's what I call music 34 because it was the only CD I had for about 3 years.
You know the run order?
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know. Like, I always think, I reckon I could walk a Friends one. I think anybody could at this point, though.
Yeah, I
Do you know
think
what I mean?
that's been, yeah.
Um,
Well, Mastermind again would take it into next level. Like,
yeah. Trying to think, what I fucking
like I could hit you a friend's question now, and I don't know if you would.
go for it?
What do you name the name of the actress who played the Mrs. Geller? Actually, maybe
Wouldn't
not.
do Friends,
Maybe that,
aye.
aye. Let's move on.
Elliot Gould. No?
Nah.
What do you call her? Cheryl.
Christina Pickles. Right.
Fucking knew it was Christina Pickles
You
too.
did too.
I did. I knew it was some sort of food. That's why I said Gould.
Food. I wonder what I could do food on Mastermind.
Now, when you said do food, do you mean bring food?
No, I mean I could do like
You could definitely do
me-
marijuana.
Well, no,
you could definitely do weed.
I could do like the menu of Nightbite from 1996 to 2001.
Night bite.
Yeah, open during the day too. That was our chippy beside us, Nightbite. I could do the menu of that.
Who ran it? Dracula? Oh man, the sausage you want.
But hold on, Mac. You don't know the marketing genius of Nightbite. Can you imagine the marketing fucking je ne sais quoi?
What was the
Night spelled like bite.
man, unbelievable. Which but
Out
you,
there.
you
Out
never
there.
see that the other way. You never see bite BIGHT.
No,
do you?
never.
Yeah.
No. There's only going. You missed an hour.
Aye.
Right. Next
Fuck,
up.
I still haven't answered that. I don't know. What would I be? What would the Lethal Weapon movie series I could do? I could learn enough about that. I reckon I could.
Don't think so.
No, I reckon I could. If I knew it was going on Mastermind, I'd swallow up for 2 weeks.
All right. Okay.
So, I mean,
yeah.
right now,
But even off the top of your head, I mean, would you be able to?
go for it and see what.
I don't know.
Ask me like the weapon question. See if we can think of one.
What is the name of his eldest daughter? Murtaugh's eldest daughter.
Rihanna.
Huh?
Rihanna.
Ooh. Very good.
And then Nick.
Nick, because that's Lethal in 3.
And then the fucking youngest one.
I can't remember the youngest one.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good. I'm trying to think of a lot of questions of like, because you go into other ways, you go into real obvious storylines. Hit you?
Go on ahead. You see. Didn't even flinch.
You did?
No, I didn't.
We'll watch it.
I wasn't. That wasn't flinching. That was about to counter attack it. Just
So Lethal Weapon and
Yeah.
my Night Bite menu from 1996 to
Oh, it is.
2001. Okay, overrated things from Northern Ireland. This is a list. Oh yes, it is a list. Number 1, Belfast Zoo. Number 2, Boojum. Number 3, Dairy Girls. Number 4,
Let me stop you there.
Armagh Planetarium.
Boojum is exactly rated as it should be.
Number 5, Barry's in Portrush. Number 6, Give Me a Headpiece. Number 7, Paddy Raff. Oh, that's not
Why
fair.
is it? Why he's always picking on Paddy
Why
Raff?
everybody else picking Paddy Raff? That's wild.
Give me a headpiece.
Rope
Absolutely.
Bridge, somebody else added in. Yeah, so there's. I mean, I don't. I've never been to Belfast. I wasn't there when I was a child, but never.
I've been a couple of years ago. I mean, it's not. It's just the zoo of Belfast. Like you can't really. How do you rate a zoo?
You know.
I mean, it's sad animals.
Boojum, yeah, good.
Boojum's good. I think Boojum's. It's.
I'm not liking what's happened in the Dairy Girls, where people have seemed to sort of turned against it. Not that I was for it, but it was like one of those things going, this could have been cringy the first year. Like, I just think of BBC Northern Ireland coming out with No Place Like Tyrone.
Aye.
Exactly. And I was going, well, fucking Dairy Girls actually is, at least it was Netflix worthy.
Yeah.
Worthy. But there's no, like, some shit that's come out. So I thought it was okay, but it's getting away with a slagging.
I think that's the typical fucking. As soon as something from here gets big,
Big and famous, yeah.
that's because BBC Northern Ireland have people used to 2 series or something and it disappears forever.
But yeah,
You get a third series.
I haven't watched after season 1, but again, I appreciate it for what it was, because I
Aye,
remember
it's
watching
great.
it going, fuck, this is good, because it could have been so cringy.
Yeah, I think it's very good.
Yeah, so take that off the list. We'll take Boojum off the list. Armagh Planetarium, never been there.
It's overrated now. It's outdated.
Okay, Barry's in Portrush.
Sure, it's not even called bars anymore. It's called
Never been
fucking something else.
Give Me a Headpiece, it's gone. You said Paddy Raff. Paddy's alright.
Aye, they Paddy done.
Rope Bridge,
No, thank
never
you.
done.
I think no, the new remember going to it when I was about 3 or 4, but it was the old rope when it was a fucking rope bridge. Then like that would because it was like that was blue rope and fucking planks of wood. Now it's a modern kind of safe,
Yeah.
very very slim chance of death.
Nah, no fun.
No crack, like
No fun.
Do you know what I mean? Can't scare Protestants with that.
Any other overrated things you would like to add to it?
Overrated from Northern Ireland. Let me think. Jamie Dornan.
Oh, highly.
Is Nathan overrated?
No,
He's been in some belters.
He's
He's been, yeah.
No, he's done some solid stuff now this time. And maybe Dornan is going to be there because let's be honest, Neeson did some dodgy stuff in his earlier part of
Yeah,
his
it's very
career.
true. Dark Man. Overrated. George Best.
Oh no,
Man, no. In fact, you know what I was going to say there? Compare George Best
maybe
to like Lionel Messi. No, but George Best was doing that steaming, so I'll take it back.
George Best was doing
amazing.
that statement, and he was also the first fucking proper play act.
Oh, why? Why?
there
Did a
was no-
wild load of bucking.
Wild all riding.
He wasn't actually an alcoholic. He was dehydrated. From all the fucking riding.
All the bodily fluids had left him. Anything else overrated in North?
Ballymena should be overran.
Oh no,
Or just paved over.
you're always picking on poor old Mina.
It's a toilet. People talk funny and they don't like the gays, and I find that offensive. More the talking funny, to be honest with you.
Right, what's the worst?
I just don't understand how you can talk like that and hate anybody. You know what I mean? I don't like that. We don't fucking like you. That's fucking White Holland, sir. What? If you love the Queen of England so much, why don't you try speaking her language, you fucking hick? Says I.
You just said white handling there, and somebody's asked a question about how fucking. It's coming up in a couple of questions away. 2 questions away. Here we go. First of all, what's the worst customer interaction that you've seen or dealt with? I had a full blown argument with one who thought a plain cheeseburger and a plain hamburger were the same thing.
Oh, fuck.
My youngest brother used to cry because he always wanted to order a cheeseburger with no cheese, and then we would say that's a burger, and then he would lose his fucking mind. It was not.
Is it because now in the particular place you went to was the cheeseburger a £1/4 cheeseburger and a burger was a smaller burger? No, because I know that happened. The burger stopped in Lurgan for a
No,
long
he just
time.
was young and he just got this in his head. He didn't want a cheeseburger with no
Right.
cheese, and any other hamburger or plain burger was not a cheeseburger with no
Is this
cheese.
your brother called Cheese?
Called cheese.
Ah, right, I understand. Didn't want to eat himself.
Customer interactions. I've seen some fucking dodgy ones because I lived in London a couple of years, so I've
Yeah.
seen some really fucking rough shit. But having to deal with one, I remember getting punched in the jaw by a boy in the bar, and I had to deal with that. And It was a weird one because the guy was like in his 40s, but I was, 22, 23. And do you know when somebody's that drunk, I could see the punch. Like, I had enough time. If I wanted, I probably could have mopped the floor before the punch came. You know what I mean? It was that fucking slow and that. So I was managed to dodge it. But it was the second one that didn't see coming.
Right, okay.
The first one I was looking at, and then the second one came in. But it was a weird one because I had to put him out head first through the door. But I also wanted to beat the fuck out of him, but I also couldn't because the rest of the bar was looking at me, and about 3 people seen him swinging. The rest didn't. So then it looked like me as a big fucking bully taking this old man who's drunk and knocking fuck at him. So we just got a few wee digs in the ribs and away. And it was fucking.
I once heard a story.
That was him just because he didn't get a pint because he was so drunk.
I once heard a story from a Scottish guy who was telling me about a pub in Scotland where they had to put an Irish traveller out, right? So the guy was too drunk, and they're like, right, come on, time to go, right? And he's like, I'm not fucking going, I ain't going nowhere, boy, right? And they eventually, I think it's 4 bouncers, he told me, picked him up, right? And he says they were getting them out the door, but as they were getting them out the door, you had to go upstairs to get into this place. And the guy grabbed onto the banister of the stairs, and then he said it took 4 big Glaswegian bouncers, right? We're just trying to pry him off a fucking banister. And the bit that made me laugh the most, he goes, Mickey, man, I'm fucking telling you, we were hitting this cunt with a fire extinguisher. He says we're rattling him in the stomach with fire extinguishers, and he was just fucking wasn't moving But that one pretty awkward.
That would have been an awkward.
You're not supposed to take in fire extinguishers off the wall.
I just remember the story a traveller told me, and it's fucking brilliant. I hadn't seen him in a few months, and he appeared back in Oma again. I said, "Where have you been?" I was in England, and I was right. I was working. No, I was. Where were you? I had to go to jail. And I said, "Why the fuck?" I had to go 5 months. I said, "What the fuck did you do?" I was in the Chinese. And this fella, he's a fucking mountain of a man, like a big man. But he loves crack.
Aye.
But his crack is dangerous crack.
Aye.
Right? So I said, what happened? I was in the Chinese, I was eating the fried rice, and the little horse bastard behind the counter, he bent down to the till, and I slapped him in the head. I said, why? He goes, I don't know, the head was just there and just looked, and I just thought, I'm just going to slap you, and I slapped him in the head. 4 of the bastards came out from the back. So apparently the Chinese was fucking wrecked, destroyed. He got 5 months.
Fucking hell.
Because he couldn't resist while he was eating the thing. He just an urge came over him. He just want to slap him back in the head. And then the whole fucking, all the kitchen staff came out, and he was by himself. But again, he probably battered 3 of them. But
so listen, I can't. This guy in the white suit's about to do something here now. Oh, fuck's sake.
But it's just the way I said, why did you? I just couldn't resist. I just want to slap him in the head.
Can I slap you?
That's what I said. I was like, maybe if you'd asked. He said, I don't know. I was like,
fucking hell.
How bad of a hangover does that be? Because obviously he was steaming. With a bag of hangover and you're in jail for 5 months. That's a bad hangover. I've had rough ones.
I know, but I've never had to go. I'll tell you what happened, Your Honour.
Yeah, I've never had to
hire a solicitor after a night out.
I've had my woman not talk to me the day after I'm hungover. I've never been able to not talk to her for 5 months.
I'm sorry with this. I'm so sorry. They're sore if I don't do it.
They're not sore.
It is sore. It's literally my ass. It hurts whenever
everybody can tumble them.
I'm so sorry.
And you can let them out naturally.
I wasn't even pushing. I'm fucking telling you, Connor.
If there's
so
sound,
sorry.
you're pushing.
No, I swear to God. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, right.
The customer interactions, yeah.
People pay for this, you know.
I know. Thank you very much for your patrons. I'm so sorry I farted. But yeah, I think let's let it go because I just did. I've told you before about the woman next who was like, "Do you speak English?" To a Chinese person. The guy was like, "Aye." Yeah. I remember once again when I worked in Next, a woman wanted a jacket from a mannequin because they ran out. I was like, "What size are those mannequins?" I was like, "I don't know." And she went, "Can you just check?" And she wasn't like, "Can you check?" She went, "We'll check." And I was like, right. And I went and asked her, like, what size are the mannequins or whatever. She went, "I'll take them off the mannequin." And I went, "You can't." She's like, why not? And I went, well, there's loads of reasons. One, it'll be damaged from the fucking bright lights, so we can't sell you damaged stock at the same price. And she went, well, she'll take a discount. And then I went, the other problem is that doesn't come into the shop stock. That's brought in by window dressers. So we don't have that on a file to scan for you to buy it. And she's like, that's nonsense. And I'm going, I'm fucking telling you, as far as this shop's concerned, that doesn't fucking exist. And it was an hour, like, this woman was just fucking, because she knew she could 10% off, made it worse.
Oh,
but she was getting like a $5 off it. And it was just an hour of my day. And then obviously I had to clean the shop before I left, so I couldn't. And I was in work at 10 o'clock. There's no real story behind that. I'm just getting fucking really angry.
You're getting really fucked off there. Right, let's fire on. All right, lads, imagine you went to sleep one night and next morning you wake up in a totally different life or reality. You still look the same with the same personality, memories and experience from this life, but your families and friends are all different. You're in different jobs but aren't comedians anymore. You rock up to Lavery's one night but none of the other comedians have a clue who you are. Would you make the best out of a bad situation and start again from scratch, or go slowly insane, remembering everything from your old reality that nobody in new reality is aware of, kind of like a fucked up quantum leap?
I would turn up to a comedy club, send them a brand new comedian, do an open spot with fucking new stuff, and people would be like, this guy's a genius, and then I'd be rich in less than a year.
Yeah. It's kind of like this. Yeah, it's kind of like that idea of yesterday. Somebody's never Beatles thing. Yeah, if somebody's never heard, like, and you walk up, I go, yeah, this is my first time on stage. Yeah, and they've never seen you. You go, fuck, you must be good. And then you hit it the greatest hits. Yeah, that would be deadly, actually, wouldn't it?
Yeah, imagine the first time you stand. You know what I mean?
Can anybody organise that? Can you go and contact Will Smith and see if you get one of those? Like,
man, don't be talking to Will Smith. Keep Will Smith's name out your fucking mouth.
Oh, Iowa comedians. Oh, that's right. And I was just looking for Tommy Lee Jones. Give Tommy a wee shout. He'll have one in the fucking.
The
just one. What do you call him? An eraser? What do they call him in the Men in Black? The mind erasers.
I have no clue.
Aye, them ones. But yeah, I don't know if...
that was the chair.
Okay. So here's the question about what we're talking about. What's the strangest bit of local slang you've ever heard? For example, when Connor says, that's a wild handling, I've no fucking clue what he's talking about. Now, how does somebody from the north... I thought handling was everywhere. No?
Nah.
You said handling earlier.
I know, but it's only because I knew you'd understand. And when I say things, I gotta do it ironically. Obviously,
You were talking false.
Middle class.
You're talking with a
I have a driveway.
Yeah.
Because a handling is a handling. Isn't that right?
So this is what it is. So,
what the fuck is wrong with me today? I am so sorry. I'm genuinely embarrassed by that. I'm really sorry.
Imagine having to live with that.
How do you think I feel? That's why I live on my own. Just burping and apologising to that wall. It's the memory pen thing's a neuralizer.
Neuralizer. Good man, Jack. That's the one.
Take your fucking time, Jack.
Yes, so the only way to describe what a handling is, right? It's a situation.
Don't be in a situation with our accent.
It's a situation that requires a bit of delicate handling, right?
Right.
That be's abbreviated down to it's a handling.
Did you say that B's abbreviated down to?
Yeah.
No problem, no comment, Your Honour.
That's the way we do it. That's it. B's.
But so a wild handling can be a fight. A wild handling can be the wedding cake didn't arrive. Wild handling can be a big queue at the doctors.
Fuck wild handling.
Wild handling. Bad traffic.
Wild handling.
I had a wild handling getting through the town.
Wild handling.
A wild handling can be when you look at a baggage handler throw a bag.
That's a wild bit of handling.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, get you, yeah. If you see a man with a knapsack on a horse going yee-haw, that's just wild baggage.
Yes.
But then wild baggage is somebody who's dad fingered them.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? That's wild baggage. And fuck with the daddy fingered them. Wild handling.
Wild handling.
Didn't handle that well.
No.
Wild.
Handling. So that's what a handling is. Any other local slang that
Dort walloper.
Yes, that sounds like it is.
The phrase Dort, that's a fucking Dort walloper, and I don't know. Now,
Dort as in dirt?
I always imagined it was someone who wallops Dort, right?
As in dirt?
As in dirt, right? Yeah. But then I thought to myself, is that a derogatory term for a homosexual male?
Oh.
A Dort walloper, right?
A blurt walloper?
No, a Dort walloper.
A dirt walloper.
Right? And then there's something I've been thinking about this for a few weeks and I haven't brought it up to you, right? But I've noticed on social media quite a lot of people I know who are very, very lefty, right? Now, these aren't people I know. Quite a lot of people I know who are very lefty have people in their comment section who appear to also be quite lefty, right? And the term cockwomble floats about quite a bit, right?
That's a very English thing.
Very English thing. Absolute cockwomble.
Yes.
Jacob Rees-Mogg, what a cockwomble, right? And I've thought to myself, is cockwomble, could that be mistaken as a derogatory term for a homosexual male, right? And then I thought, cockwomble definitely is
A homosexual womble.
It's obviously it definitely sounds like it could be a derogatory term for a gay man, right? Now, I also think if it isn't, so it's just a useless person who spouts bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But I think cockwomble should be integrated by the gay community and used as a derogatory term for a homosexual male, just because in 10 years from now, whenever they reclaim cockwomble, it's going to be fucking class.
It would be brilliant, actually.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm a cockwombler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Underground, overground, wombling free.
Cock-womble
Cockwomble,
and
Wimbledon,
Wimbledon, coming our way.
Sucking it, fucking it up my bum. Sucking a cock is loads of fun. Nobody could be homophobic with a bunch of dudes in there. They were singing that.
Can't.
You
It's
couldn't,
physically
you couldn't
impossible.
be angry.
You could
It's
not.
Adam and Eve, not Adam and... Ah, fuck, they're doing the cockwomble song. I would hear it.
Any other slang? I mean, the handling. I do talk about handling because there's handlings all the time.
Aye.
There's loads of fucking like foundered. I mean, in the 70s.
Foundered being cold and then foundered being hungry. Sometimes foundered means two different things.
Oh, no, I've never said foundered. For
Or,
hunger.
no, sorry, starving with a cold. It's starving.
Starving with a cold,
and
yeah,
then freezing.
yeah, okay.
But then I've heard foundered, and it's foundered.
We were talking last night about
cold and broke or something like that.
Scran as well. Do you say scran?
As in for food?
Aye.
I would not as a.
We would do
I
it-
always thought scran was quite kind of English.
We would do it as
Get
a
a bit of fucking
a,
scran, mate. Yeah, you gotta get a bit
Yeah.
of fucking something to eat, mate.
It's Ulster Scots, isn't it? Ultimately, same as foundered. It's Ulster
Ah,
Scots.
could well be.
It's but
Have
I
you heard the Ulster Scots advert in the radio?
No.
Everybody know a couple of word on Ulster Scots. And it's somebody, posh guy from Belfast, trying to do a North Coast accent and speak Ulster
I'll
Scots.
speak Ulster Scots. Oh, Scots.
Whether you're fee, knock the cloyer, ballybogey, everybody knows a word on Ulster Scots.
There was a list put up there recently of Ulster Scots words, and I was going, "Fuck!" I didn't realise that. There's a lot of words we use.
I take. Fenian, another Ulster Scots word. Notice they don't have a word for black bastard, but but joking. Yeah. There's a lot of I don't know. I don't know. Is it a language though? Is it a language?
No,
Does
it's
it
not.
get
It's a
official
dialect.
status?
It's a
It is. Yeah, definitely. Like
It's a dialect with some random. But I mean, I could say the same about Dodge City, where I grew up. Mm-hmm. We have our own language.
oh,
if
of
that's the
course,
case.
ice poles.
Ice poles,
The fuck.
mongos.
And Ulster Scots is a dafty way, isn't it?
No, a mongo is.
How Jamaican says about a guy leaving. The Mongol. The Mongol, man.
No, it's a mongo. Is a certain amount of food.
Right.
A mongo. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Named after our mate Mongo.
Oh, right. Okay.
But yeah, so technically, are we a language then? If we can say we've got a dialect and then we have words that other people don't use that we use,
Don't know.
we're going to go for official Dodge City status.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. One.
You back us up. You do a gig
Can we
first. will you?
teach that in the school?
Run down the shop and get me a Mongo.
Aye.
My daughter says to me, like, "Do you fancy me Mongo?" I was like, "I don't know." It comes from this
Blazing
guy.
Saddles.
Yes, this
Yeah.
guy in our park.
Do you know why the
forced-
guy in Blazing Saddles is called Mongo though?
Yes, I do. But this is not.
For anybody who doesn't know, it's short for Mongoloid.
And that's why this guy was called Mongo, right?
Yeah. Also,
Right.
no, we're
But-
talking about words. Mongoloid definitely should be named for a transformer. People especially need to reclaim that now.
That's reclaim.
Imagine, yeah.
That'll be fucking.
Autobots, assemble! Mongoloid, yes? Because he's a truck, he talks slow. That's just the way. Don't be getting angry at me. That's the way Michael Bay did the Transformers.
Of course, that's the way it works. So I'm not. I was trying to explain to you why we called the. So
Look, poor Bumblebee had to talk through the radio.
he.
It's Taxi Maximum One.
Anyway, move
So
on.
Mongo with food,
Nah,
the big
forget
pile
about
of
it, doesn't
food.
matter. Right, hi guys, hope you're good. I recently watched an interview with Ricky Gervais where he said he believed the perfect joke hadn't been written yet. Got me thinking, is it possible for the perfect joke to exist? Everyone's sense of humour is different and people are so easily offended these days. Also, what joke have you heard that's made you think that's perfect, if any? Keep up the great work.
The two wheels at a bar.
Do what?
Two wheels at a bar. Have I told this joke?
Don't know. Don't think so.
Two wheels standing at a bar. The first wheel goes, ooh, 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 ooh. The second wheel goes, make a home, you fucking steaming. That's a perfect joke.
That is a perfect joke.
It's a good one, like.
Just told on the podcast for.
Oh, I'm well. You can
The impact doesn't work.
take it back to Ricky Gervais. You tell him. Your mate Mickey wrote the perfect joke. We didn't. He heard it one time in Glasgow in a bar. Off a wheel. Shouldn't call her a whale. Sorry.
Jesus Christ. Shame on you. So they, perfect joke.
I loved. See, that's the thing now. With the opportunities there to sort of fucking tell jokes. The perfect joke, the joke I always say is the best joke I've ever heard is Sam Campbell's joke, the Australian comedian. He goes, yeah, I'm reading a book at the minute. It's the diary of a wimpy kid. It's about a little girl called Anne Frank. That's the perfect joke.
Yeah.
So the perfect joke has been written, and it's by a comedian called Sam Campbell from Australia.
Some of the some of the shitty dad jokes. Sometimes there's one that'll get me, and the one that got me one time was the what do you call a boomerang? It doesn't come back. A stick.
Yeah.
And it's so simple, and it was in the back of a Watson's pack or something. When I read it for the very first time, I was like, "That's fucking." I don't know why it just got me laughing.
What's brown and looks through a window? A nosy wee shade. It's a clicker, like. I absolutely love bar jokes, like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm trying to think of one that's fucking. Did you ever hear the one with the guy who wakes up on the desert island? Right, so he gets washed up on the desert island, right? And he's there by himself for fucking ages, right? And he's landing in his cave one night, a few months later, and he sees a ship breaking in half on the horizon, right? All explosions and stuff. And he gets up in the morning, he goes down to the beach, and Beyonce and Knowles is lying on the beach, right? Completely naked, covered in seaweed and stuff. So he runs over and he pulls the seaweed out of her mouth and he gives her chest compressions and he blows air under her mouth and stuff like that. She comes around, she's like, oh. And she's like, oh, fuck it, are you here on the island by yourself? He's like, I am, yeah. She goes, did you save my life? And he's like, I did, yeah. She went, how long have you been here? And he went, months. I don't know if we'll get off it. And Beyonce goes, right, well, tell you what, considering you saved my life and we're stuck here by ourselves. She goes, as long as we're on this island, you can do whatever you want to me. So your man's like, fucking happy days, right? So weeks and weeks go by, they're riding left, right and centre, everywhere, fucking upside down, everything, right? All these different things you've never even thought about doing, all these different things. And they're lying cuddling one morning. And Beyonce goes, you know what, this last couple of weeks has been fucking brilliant. It has been great. And the guy's like, well, glad you enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it too. It's been great. She goes, there must be one thing left that we haven't done. And he goes, nope, not at all. And she goes, come on, tell it, there must be one. And he goes, there is one thing, but it's a bit weird, like. And Beyonce's like, fuck up, we're here. I'm up for anything. What is it? And he goes, you wouldn't put my clothes on and walk along the beach like a man, would you? She's like, what? And he goes, honestly, it's the only thing I want to do is you put my clothes on and walk along the beach like a man. Beyonce's like, right, okay. And puts his big boots on, big coat, hat and stuff, and just walking along the beach, all blokey. And he runs up behind her, tugs in the coat and goes, here, mate, and everyone guess who I'm bucking.
I don't know sometimes.
Guy walks in that bar with
Right,
a bag of manure over his shoulder. Where was his word to get that? He says, the guy outside selling a sack of kiki. I thought it was a Japanese motorbike. Fella's in the bar with a camel. He goes, pint for me, pint for the camel. No, you know. Goes pint to drink all night. Camel passes out. Guy walks out of the bar. Barman goes, here, you gonna leave a land there? Barman goes, no, that's a camel. Horse walks into that bar. Barman says, why the long face? Horse goes, buried my dad this morning.
Well, there you have it now. Never thought I'd see the day. Never thought I'd see the day.
How do you get a baby out of a blender? Nachos? No. What's the difference between a 6-year-old and a Ferrari? I've never fucked a Ferrari. What does a gay horse eat? Hey!
Nah.
Do you hear about the gay shark?
Nah.
The gay shark went do-dum, do-dum, da-da-dum, dum, da. Pub jokes, they're not really homophobic.
No, not homophobic. Just as long as they're in the pub.
Oh, fuck.
Don't even fucking start. Right.
Winter Olympics.
Next
right?
up. Last question. I know our Belfast Giants friends were sensitive about their appearance, but are they as sensitive about being called stupid of all the shirts to give someone in hospital?
Don't
What? Did you see the shirt?
No, I just feel like this is going to go wrong.
No, that's the shirt to give him. The name of the guy. So there must be a player who's called Smotherman. And, yeah. Yeah.
Then we'll just delete that last question. We'll just end on a pub joke there. Because that got weird.
Very quickly.
It's also people thinking I'm having a personal vendetta against the Belfast Giants, and I don't.
No.
It's the big fat fucking fans.
Definitely cut that.
I'm only joking.
No, we do love these.
Yeah, we love everybody. Thanks very much for listening. Thanks for being on Patreon. If you want to tell your friends about it, please tag us on social media and all that sort of jazz. Leave us a review if you like it.
Yeah, there's reviews on Spotify. We've also, the boys are putting in hard work on the Instagram, Deck Chair and Yums Instagram, so please be a follower.
Follow us on the gram.
All onto that. And yeah, spread the love.
Yeah.
There's the 5-star thing on
The
Spotify.
other stars don't work.
So right underneath the episode, you'll see the wee box, and give us I think we have a couple of hundred reviews. So give us that wee star. It's 1 star. You don't have to rate nothing.
You're looking trying to desperate now. Just breathe.
Give me the one fucking. I'll take one. Don't give me one
star.
Give me 5 times 5.
If you don't like it, fuck up. If you do, tell people. Thanks very much. See you later. Cheerio.
What's up, motherfuckers?